You know, I did question what I was writing in today's blog post, and I was sort of midway through writing about that people aren't going to like, you stepping out on your own. And I was sort of midway through it, and I thought, oh God, this seems really negative, and I never want to sound down on people. I really don't. And there are certain people who will question this because sometimes I'll I'll reply to people's comments or whatever, and people will think, oh God, he's really, really harsh. But when I see bullshit, I just can't help but point it out, frankly. But even recording this video, I kind of feel a bit conflicted, because the truth is that most people, and I don't really know the reasons why, most people aren't really doing very much thinking of their own. And you can actually observe it, you can see it, because they'll behave in one way in one scenario, and then they'll behave in a totally opposite and contradictory way in another. And honestly, I think a lot of it is just as simple as people wanting to be liked, people wanting to be included. And if you're going to lead a successful life, I think a certain degree of loneliness, or the absence of people is inevitable. Because I believe that if you really take a step out of the paradigm, the matrix, the regular things that people do, I think when people observe you doing something that is self-determined, is quite different, I think a lot of people feel quite threatened, because even temporarily it does highlight the fact in them that, oh gosh, well, Martin's going off in that direction. That is frightening to me, or that is worrying to me. What will people think of me? But Martin's doing it. Why am I not doing it? Should I be doing it? And it starts the cogs turning. But for most, they will only have that temporary glance into a world that may be, but they don't actually take any steps further. And again, I am not criticizing, but I know for myself that in the absence that I've had in recording videos and writing every single day and not doing those things, I felt kind of karmic guilt. I felt that I'm unfulfilled, I feel purposeless. So when I talk about bravery, what I'm talking about is embodying the states that a lot of people are terrified of, or nervous or anxious about. Loneliness, being on your own, being at the front of the pack, that is too much for most people. And whenever, I think this has been going on for quite a long time, but whenever people start talking about entrepreneurship or doing really exciting and meaningful projects, it will ultimately it will boil down to how confident and brave and consistent a person you are. It's why self-help, I think, is intrinsic in being an entrepreneur. And it can be a frightening thing to say, right, this is what I'm doing, and dealing with the blowback. But I think that the more that you do it, the more you realize that most of what we worry about, if not all of it, doesn't actually matter at all. And that you face all of the terrifying things and you realize, oh, well, actually, this isn't so bad. Maybe actually I can do this. And I've been really pondering for the last few days since getting going with my content creation again is this idea of trusting yourself, but also, just as importantly, how much do you value yourself? You've got a contribution to make. How much do you believe in it? How much do you believe in you? These are good questions to ask. And I think a lot of people will pose this question or these questions and think, oh my God, I've wasted so much time. But I firmly believe that you have to go through everything that you've been through in order to get to that really fantastic moment where you're doing stuff. So ask yourself honestly, do you trust yourself? Do you like yourself? Most people don't. And you can see that by the destructive choices that people make, how they damage themselves. But also, and this is very, very, very important. Do your decisions serve you? Or do they serve other people? And I hear, even today, watching the second half of a podcast, just serve other people. Just do things for other people all the time. Well, where are you? Where are you in the equation? You always have to remember that it is your life. It's nobody else's, it's yours. You have got to be first and foremost and at the front of your life. Don't push yourself back. I love serving other people, but, big but, not at my own expense. And when you're trying to please other people all the time, which isn't possible anyway, it's so easy to forget about yourself. And most people do. And they wake up and think, oh, fuck, I've not done what I've wanted to do. I've done what other people want me to do, or that I believe that other people want me to do. And I've wasted my life. Don't be one of those people. Make sure that you are serving yourself and others. Make sure that you're valuing yourself and you're offering. Make sure that you like yourself and that you treat yourself properly. And I firmly believe that that is where the magic really happens.